Okay, it's 7:45 on the 18th of December, Sunday the 18th of December. I'm flying out just before 10 o'clock with Tiger Air back to Melbourne. This cable I'm showing to you because this is my... you might see that it's actually been hacked a bit. I bought this at Kmart to secure my push bike that I bought, the second-hand push bike, which was actually nicked from me a week ago. So I might as well now throw that item into the rubbish. And I've tried reporting this particular crime to the police, but they seem to make it almost impossible to report. Well, it is impossible to report if you don't have the serial numbers of the bike. And seeing my bike was a reconstructed job, I don't even think the original serial numbers were on it because apparently they're on underside of the pedals, and I replaced the pedals of the bike not knowing that was the case. So basically they'll do nothing. They will not even allow me to they will not accept an online report with at least a description of the bike frame. Now I think that's pretty piss poor personally. I know that there's a very little chance that it'll ever get recovered, but still, you know, would it hurt them just to take basic details that I can provide? But they've set it up so if you don't have those serial numbers, you're just not even in the race. They just don't want to know you. And they won't let you to fill in any of these details over the counter, even though I was on the understanding that was the case. So it's just wonderful. I just feel as though we don't get customer service now from our public servants much like we used to. Things are really going downhill, and they try to work with, they use technology to cut costs, and they really just end up cutting services. And they don't really care if you don't put a report in. It just means it's less work for them. That's really the bottom line. So I'm very disappointed in the way it's operating here. This may be just Queensland Police. I don't know. It might be right throughout the country. So it wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we know I'm heading off to Melbourne, and as we all know, well, most of us do anyway. If you look at the media, that Melbourne is in the middle of a crime wave. There's Somali gangs running rampage throughout the suburbs. So. You know, I'm not really relishing going back there for 12 days over Christmas, although it is getting fairly warm here, so it'll be a nice break as far as the oppressive weather is concerned, because it actually has just last week or so got quite warm, especially once the cooling effect from the rainstorms we had dissipated, and it's been reasonably humid the last couple of days, and even I'd have to admit that it's actually getting a little worse than what it was. So it's like Southeast Asia. I'm used to it, but it does drain you a little bit. So you just got to pace yourself in this sort of weather. Anyway, I'll give you a report from downstairs. I'm just going to go and get my taxi that I've just ordered, the Cairns taxi. I decided not to bother with the minibus. It's too much of a hassle. Especially this time of year when the weather's a bit iffy. We have had a bit of rain. I don't want to have to go walking to a pickup point. I don't even know what time they do it on a Sunday, so it'll save me about $10 maybe. I don't think it's worth the effort. I'd rather just be in go direct in an air-conditioned taxi as opposed to having to do the rounds in a minibus, which will take longer and means I've got to wait around at a pickup place. So. This time round, I think I'll just go with the taxi. Maybe in the middle of winter, I'll revert to the other system. But I think it's extra money better spent. And I'm going to Melbourne for 12 days this time, so it's an extended break too. So yeah, that's the plan. So everything seems to be locked up. I've turned the modem off. I've got my little bit of water there for hydrating before I actually get on the flight. Mobile's all charged. Lots of little things to remember, but I think I've got them all under control. It's nowhere near as traumatic as when you travel overseas, of course, because if you forget something then, it's a bit more devastating generally. But yeah, the backpack is chock-a-block. I hope there's no issues with check-in. We'll find out soon enough. They haven't given me hassles at any time in the last year or so when I've been travelling, which I'm doing extensively, especially in the last 6 months or so since I moved up here. I haven't had any trouble from either Tiger Air or Jetstar regarding that, so fingers crossed that continues. I just put my laptop inside the actual backpack when I go to the check-in counter, and then I remove it when I have to go through security, because they generally want it to be in a separate tray anyway. So we'll get all that crap out of the way. It'll be good to return here. I'm going to be coming back here New Year's Eve at about a little after 6 o'clock at night. So come back and have a few drinks and maybe a little mild celebration, and no doubt it'll be fairly balmy. Hopefully it won't be cyclonic. We can only hope. Anyway, I'll give you a final report from downstairs and just tell you what I think of the body corporate here. And I'll give you a little tip. It won't be complimentary. Okay, as promised, the second part of this departure blog to Melbourne. This is the major problem here at the moment, security-wise. As you can see, these are fairly secure automatic gates, and they've been working up until about the last couple of months, but since then they have not been in operation, and there's been no sign that the body corporate has any interest in getting them repaired, as much interest as they've had in repairing this particular side gate here with supposed security. The only time it ever worked was when I was actually looking for my flat in May, and now, as you can see, all you need to do is push it open like that. That touchpad is inoperative. It does not lock. There's basically no security here. Is it any wonder that my push bike was stolen from over in that corner here, just over there, where there's a few other push bikes, and I think that's Marie's motor scooter, and I hope she has luck with that, because it's already been nicked once. I just cannot believe how slack body corporates can be. I mean, they have a responsibility. I personally believe that that I'm renting this place under false pretenses, and part of the deal was we did have security, and you'd expect it to be repaired in a timely manner. Now, I don't think having gates like that inoperative for several months, and the side gate being inoperative for over 6 months, is timely repairs. I think there's absolutely no interest in doing that. And the owners of these properties are going to sort of feel the pinch when tenants are just not going to bother renting here. I'll be looking elsewhere. I just won't trust them here anymore. So I don't know what the laws are. I tried to find out. The Real Estate Institute of Queensland didn't seem to have any information on body corporate. So I'll just have to basically start looking into that, because unfortunately I'm going away now and leaving a place that is fairly vulnerable. Hopefully it won't get broken into. Not that there's a great deal there, thank God, but it just doesn't. It's not a good feeling being in a place that's this insecure. Anyway, that's my 2 bobs worth. Hopefully I have a decent flight.